these terrorists, especially ISWAP, they are very live and active online. We saw what happened with General Uba, the one that was killed. He was sending out messages that was intercepted. So his position was easily known before his own people came to rescue him. It could not be there was no exfil for him, because by the time his people got ready to try to do the exfiltration, they already reached him because they were intercepting signals. They are on every platform, including encrypted platforms. These terrorists. And that's what we're seeing happening with the story in the Daily Trust today. Yesterday I was saying it in the morning that in spite of the successes of our troops in the northeast, there's still attacks, ambushes on troops, and they're killing soldiers. It has now come to light. About 13 soldiers, they were executed. They were very treacherous terrain between Damasak in Borno State in the northeast to Gaydam in Yobe State. They were traveling on that road, and they came under heavy attack by ISWAP. And even though the army, as at this morning, still hasn't officially reacted to that development, is in the open now. The Daily Trust has described how that event happened. They were attacked, and the commanding officer of that troop, of that unit, was killed. A major was killed, and 7 old soldiers and 2 members of the civilian JTF that usually travels with troops in that area. Sadly, they were killed. And this story has now come to light. ISWAP are simply taking responsibility to that. They control that area. The Timbuktu Triangle, the Sambisa Forest, the Mandara Mountains, and the general area of the Lake Chad. This morning, I've been reading about those places because there are treacherous zones, in those areas. And soldiers find it very difficult to tell you. Soldiers who have done operations in the northeast, in those areas, will tell you these are not places to go. See, they describe the Mandara Mountains. One place in the Mandara Mountains as where, in summary, they describe it as where you meet your destiny. It's a place where you meet your destiny. I'm trying to look for the exact word, how soldiers describe the difficulty is compounded by isolation. Some villages requires up to 5 hours to reach, despite being only 50 kilometers away. Especially for the Timbuktu Triangle. It is located in part of Yobe and in most parts of Borno State. It is a vast and notoriously difficult to access region that has long served as a stronghold for Boko Haram and ISWAP. This area features unforgiving terrain characterized by a mix of arid landscapes, dense bush, and remote border zones with porous boundaries, making it treacherous for troops during counterinsurgency operations. Then this one, the Mandara Mountains, also situated along the border with Cameroon in Borno and Adamawa State. You can see the Borno, Yobe, Borno, Adamawa. These are long swaths of forest. This one presents even more rugged and treacherous challenges for military operations due to the mountainous topography. The region includes hills, dense valleys, paths, natural fortifications that allow insurgents to easily disappear, set up ambushes, plant IEDs, and establish tunnel systems for weapon cache. These factors have historically made the mountains a natural fortress for the Boko Haram. The difficulty is, of course, that's what I read earlier. Emmanuel, these are the areas where our troops are combing every day. So most times they come under these attacks and they can't help themselves. At the end of the day, the tragedy happens and we begin to count the bodies. This Timbuktu Triangle, the Mandara Mountains, the general area of Lake Chad, and of course the notorious Sambisa Forest. That's why this battle has gone on for long. What you expect is that air superiority will probably help, to challenge this insurgent. But most times, it still doesn't achieve the result. For instance, the bodies of these soldiers that were killed have been retrieved. It was a battle to retrieve it. Troops on the ground with air support, had to battle for hours yesterday, Wednesday, to retrieve these bodies. You can imagine the kind of fight that goes on because they needed to bring the bodies back. So when we talk about what happens in that area and people think that this war has been going on forever, is again because of the asymmetric nature of the conflict first, and then second, that entire area. It's not a place where even a well-trained army can get success in one day.